So people are finally back at the beaches, and they are bringing everything that comes with that, and that includes trash. So every day on Amelia Island, volunteers say they fill 5-gallon buckets with litter that they have picked up. In Duval, conservation groups say that they're having the same issue, that the beach has taken a hit ever since people were allowed back. Renata DiGregorio has ways you can pitch in to help keep our beaches clean.
When you look out from the distance, everything looks pristine, but it's those tiny pieces of litter and plastic conservation groups are filling buckets with, the ones that don't make it into the trash can for whatever reason. It's hurting the environment and the animals, and they say there's more litter now than there was pre-pandemic.
I saw nothing from the month of April till really the weekends when they opened the beach.
From no litter to people being allowed back, conservation groups are doubling down, and the Amelia Island Beach and Marine Life Conservancy just started recruiting volunteers this week. The job's literally a walk on the beach.
It's disturbing because when you look at the beach from a distance, it looks beautiful, and our beaches are beautiful. They're a treasure. But when you start walking along, it's amazing how much trash there is on the beach. A lot of small pieces of plastic.
In Duval County, Kevin Brown with Beaches Sea Turtle Patrol believes the litter is mostly being left by those who aren't locals. Sherry Roan, a volunteer on Amelia Island, says they're working to change the culture.
It causes people to think a little bit more about looking around before they leave the beach.
Here in Duval, Beaches Sea Turtle Patrol says that there are 80 access points to these beaches, and they all have trash cans. In Jax Beach, Renata DiGregorio, First Coast News on your side.